Hey everybody, welcome back. So it is let's see what number this is. We are on number 36 of the coronavirus vlog. It's amazing actually. I just started doing this for my own sanity and now already we're on number 36, which is pretty crazy. But anyway, my last video, I was pretty negative, so my apologies for that. And I promised you that I would be more upbeat today, that I would try to have more of a happier update with stuff, and I think I can do that. I think that I'm going to mix it up a little bit today, okay? So I want to talk about Quercetin a little bit, because I bought some of this. Somebody said, oh, Rob, this is great stuff. It boosts your immune system, and it's really good. And sure enough, on the label here, it says supports healthy seasonal immune function with a little asterisk after it, which I guess the asterisk means it's extra special. But anyway, let's talk about this and supplement. I stream it on this monitor over here, and I actually had to turn on the sound at some point today just to hear what was going on. And so some good news. I mean, I'm trying to keep it into, I'm going to call it Terrific Tuesday. Okay, so it's positive. All right. And I think for the most part, it is, right? I mean, we had some news coming out of China that two vaccines are in clinical trial. So whenever I hear news on vaccines, I think that's good news. I think that it's still going to be a while before we see them. And I think that, but any progress there is good news. I think there's a lot of people working on that around the world. And of course, there's big money there. So of course, it should attract some top talent. And we should see some stuff there. I would think we're going to set records on that as far as how quickly we get a vaccine available, or at least something out there. Companies should be highly motivated to deliver something of that nature that's going to help us all get back to work. So I'm pretty optimistic when it comes to our ability to deliver some good news with respect to that. So good news there. Other good news, because this is Terrific Tuesday, is that some people in the U.S. have received some digital checks, and it was showing some things like that on the news where people were getting money. And I think that is really good news. Here in Canada, there's $2,000 available for some people. There's different programs that are coming out now. I received some emails. Businesses can get some relief as well, which is good. I saw it in the way of you can get kind of a low interest rate loan, and then some of it is forgiven. I think I saw for small businesses you could get $40,000 loan here in Canada, and then $10,000 of that could be forgiven. So that was interesting, right? I thought that was pretty good. So more good news. I think that some of I mean, it's good news, but on the other hand, I've also heard that for some farmers, their workers were making less than that. So now with the stimulus, both in Canada and the US, the stimulus for low-income workers, they're now getting more on assistance than they were making when they had a job. So some of them are not going to work because of that. So that's bad. I mean, I don't know all the rules around that. You'd think that we would be able to figure that out to make sure that that's not happening and that people are motivated to go back to work if it's in a healthy environment where they're not going to get infected. But so that's going to be a problem, I think, for food supply. And I did a video on food supply, and that was part of it. I'm going to do another one, a follow-up to that pretty soon, I think, because there's new developments there, and I want to talk about some of the strategies that you can take as far as for emergency management on your food supply. So one of the things I did today was I found some junk in my garage. I'm cleaning everything out, and I made a trade with somebody, and I gave away an old radio, and I got a big piece of halibut, some moose jerky, and some steaks for a radio that I will never use. So that's something to think about. If you've got stuff in the garage that other people want, now's a great time to clean it out, right? So some other stuff on the news. There was some discussion on reinfection. This is not necessarily good news, but it's not bad news either, because it's still undetermined. We're seeing people getting reinfected, and there's some articles out there now going over the different strains of this virus. And so I think it's possible that people are getting the different strains, or perhaps the antibodies are not staying with the person that's initially infected. And so that's a bit concerning, but at least we're learning more. Let's try to keep it positive. We're learning more about the virus, so that's good. Yeah, so the other big thing in the news today was Trump. and that the guy is, you got to say, is entertaining. He followed up on what he said he was going to do, and he has halted funding for the World Health Organization and is conducting an investigation into their behavior. And I think that's, well deserved, because they do have a history of some really weird things. If you just Google it, you'll find that there's a history there of some really bad things. And I don't know how much of it is true, but based on what we saw in the early stages of this, I would say it's worthwhile doing an investigation. He said something about the investigation being 500 million. That's a lot of money that could go towards masks and hospitals and other things at this point in time. So I think I must have got that number wrong. If I did, please let me know in the comments down below, and I'd like to figure out what's going on there. But it'll be interesting to see what comes out of that. He was asked a bunch of questions today, which he was quite frustrated with. I touched my face again. It's better though, right? So far only once today. Well, since I've been on the video. He was asked a bunch of questions in the press conference today, which was really worth watching. He was getting quite frustrated with the reporters because they were asking him a lot of tough questions. And they said, would he give them funding if Tedros resigned? And he didn't really give an answer on that. I think he would like that, but he said he doesn't really know the fellow, and they really need to just take a look at the organization in general. So that was interesting, I thought. And I'm not excusing anybody like Trump or anybody else for not acting quicker either, right? Like I think that the World Health Organization is central to some of our less than stellar performance. Because we look to them for guidance. Everybody's looking to them for guidance. So when we think about how quickly we responded, and then the guidance on PPE and stuff like that, being very slow and incorrect at the beginning, right? Very slow to change. I think that we definitely have some work to do there. So I think doing a root cause analysis at the very least is probably a good idea. I hope it doesn't detour us from what we need to do to fight this right now. That would be my only concern, that it's going to be disruptive to what we need to get done right now. So yeah, so that was the news today. Pretty interesting stuff. But let's talk about this thing here, this Quercetin stuff. And I bought it because it's supposed to help your immune system. And this is the brand I got. The brand has good ratings. I can't advocate for this brand. I don't really know if it's any better than the other ones. I looked on LabDoor, which I can advocate for, and say that that's a great website. That I think it actually is quite useful to see if what the quality is like of any sort of supplement or vitamin, because that's what's always in question to me is, okay, how good is this? Am I really buying something that's going to be of good quality? Because the supplement manufacturers that maybe I know or others are familiar with that have a long-standing reputation in the market. And this one got pretty good ratings on LabDoor, so that's why I bought it. And I think it's probably better than most of them. However, let's get into what is this stuff all about? Other than someone just telling me, yeah, Rob, you should buy it, and it's going to help you build your immune system, which is what we all care about right now, right? Because we know we're all going to get infected probably at some point, but we want to, be the 80%, not the 20% that has problems. So we're all buying things like this right now, trying to eat healthy and do all that stuff. So what is it? Quercetin is a natural flavonoid that is found in many vegetables and fruits. So I don't know about you, but that means nothing to me, right? I'm not a scientist or anything like that, but it's found in vegetables and fruits like red lettuce. It has high quantities in red lettuce, chili peppers, cranberries, red onion, tomato, broccoli, and apple. So that's it goes down in quantities as I went through the list. So it sounds like anything with red in it, it seems like it's probably got some of this in it, right? So, and it's, from what I read in the studies, it says that it's much better absorbed through food than through supplements. So if you're eating that sort of stuff, then you're probably getting more of it than other people, and you may not need to take this because it's getting absorbed better anyway. So let's get into some of the science behind it, because I find when we're talking about supplements, whether actually even vitamins for that matter, there's all this kind of anecdotal, tribal knowledge, loose bro science, right? And it's like, yeah, take vitamin C. It's really good for you. Well, why? What does it actually do? Oh, well, it helps you if you're getting a cold or the flu. How? Right? So there's all this kind of like really loose science that I don't really believe. I think that, sure, there is some stuff that it's good for you. I'm sure eating an apple, pretty often helps, is good over other things like a chocolate bar. But, so what does science say about this stuff? So there are 15,807 publications on Quercetin, which include 233 clinical trials, which is good. What we want is to see is clinical trials, to see So, but to put this into context, flavonoids have over 100,000 publications, including over 38,000 human clinical trials. So just kind of like compare it in general, right? So this is a flavonoid. So, but in general, that's a lot more. So it's fairly popular, I guess, in the whole family of those things, but it's still not a lot of trials. And so what evidence have come out of those trials? That's the big question, right? So that's great, Rob, but like, what does that mean? Okay, so let's go through the list on some of the claims that people make about this, okay? And I should preface that with, I think it's still early. There's still a lot of work being done on this. And so it may change over time. We may find out that some of these things I'm going to go through are actually changing and maybe improve, right? Because overall, it doesn't look too good for this so far. And what I should say is also, what brought me to this was there was a doctor on the news from Canada. So, I'm from Canada, he's from Canada. I thought, hey, I better check that out. He said he was doing a bunch of studies with some people in China, and they'd found a direct correlation between this and the reduction in getting viruses. And I thought, whoa, that's exactly what I'm looking for. But when I read all this stuff, I didn't really see that. I didn't really see there was a slight correlation in the very small study that he did, but I didn't really see something that could convince me that this is the thing for everybody to buy. And since then, I've never seen him again on the news. So there's that. Okay, so does it relieve pain? Because that's one of the claims. There is no proof that Quercetin can function as a general anesthetic, right? So there's no proof that it reduces pain. So I'm still going for the Tylenol or the aspirin. I'm not reaching for this if I want pain relief, right? Does it reduce inflammation or allergies? There is no human clinical trial data to support a role for Quercetin in inflammation or allergy relief. So again, I'm going for the allergy medicine. I'm not going for my Quercetin. Does it improve heart health? Now, this is a big one for me, as I've talked about in my other videos, because I do have in my family some heart issues. And so I take a garlic supplement for that. It's a liquid garlic. And I used to take raw garlic, and that would just cause havoc on my gut. And to have some effect, the studies that were done for that were large studies, blind studies, and pretty good. There wasn't, of course, many years of it or anything like that. So there could be more for sure, and I think there will be, but more than there has been for this. So and the results were much better. So Quercetin has a modest effect on lowering blood pressure and lowers triglycerides, which may contribute. Maybe take some for that, and it might help. I would go for the garlic way before I went for that, but that's based on the research that I've done. Does it help with endurance? The science is conflicting on Quercetin as an ergogenic. That's a new word for me. Looking very simply at the results, we have Quercetin helped with physical performance in untrained but not trained men. So I think there could be many variables that could assist with that. So if you're an athlete and you're looking for something to give you that little extra, I don't think this is going to be it. So here's a big one. Does it fight cancer? Because everything on the internet now fights cancer, right? There's no information on a clinical role for Quercetin as an anti-cancer agent. So no. Let's just say no. because there's no proof that it does. I think the default on the internet is, yes, it does. You should buy it. Yeah, but no. Is it good for the skin? There's no evidence to support the use of Quercetin in skin health. So again, probably not. I think other products that I like collagen, I think is actually, I don't know if you can see that very well, but this is hot right now. As far as supplements, so many people buying the collagen right now and putting it in their coffee. And then I found this big tub of collagen in the bin upstairs. It's like, I know our secret now. So anyway, I'm gonna start taking it, I think, see what happens. And I'll let you know. If my skin goes like, magnificent all of a sudden, you'll know it's the collagen. Okay, back to Quercetin. Sorry, I went off that tangent there. Quercetin. The one thing I found for this when I was doing my research was there was a bunch of people talking about hair growth for this. And you know where I'm going with this, right? I'm going to finish this bottle and then I'm going to do some more videos. And let's just see where that goes. If I'm Fabio in a month, right, we'll know that at least there's one thing that this is really good for, and I'll prove it. So let's see. I think I spent like $15 for this, and it's still still pretty full. Like it's 3/4 full. So some side effects that I've heard some people talk about is increased urination frequency with this. So probably not a good idea to take this near the end of the day. Otherwise, you're going to get up in the middle of the night a few times. So there's that as well as a side effect. But otherwise, I think it's, and I'm not a doctor, so don't quote me on this. If you're taking supplements, talk to your doctor about any sort of modifications that you're making, because this, any supplement could be a health risk and could interfere with any sort of prescription drugs that you're taking. And so you want to be careful of that. I'm not a doctor. Talk to your doctor before you do anything with anything. How's that? So, but yeah, anyways. So I'm going to keep taking it until I finish this. Will I buy another one? Probably not, based on the research that I've done now. So that's that. Anyway, if you like this video, if you like any of my other videos, please hit the like button down below. If you want to see more of my videos, please subscribe. If you want to be alerted to when new videos come out, please hit the little bell icon, and that will alert you to when I do a new video. I'm trying to do a video at least every week. I do these vlogs every couple days whenever something new pops up. But I will be doing some product reviews and other things like that with proper videos that are not live streamed. So hopefully that will help you if you're a traveler. And yeah, so thanks a lot. Happy trails.